Let's talk about a name that nobody's watching, but maybe they should be. The Dallas Cowboys might have a sleeper on their hands, and his name is Elijah Clark. Now, Clark didn't get drafted. That's the label. But sometimes that's where the real hunger comes from. And it's starting to show. A few media outlets like Draft Network and Fansided have started to quietly buzz about him. They're calling him a legitimate contender to make the 53-man roster. But why? There was a moment, just one day at OTAs, where Elijah Clark got some first-team reps, and people ran with it. Look, he's climbing the depth chart. Hold on. There's context that matters here. That day, the safety room was a wreck. Malik Hooker was out with back spasms. Marquise Bell was sidelined rehabbing his shoulder. Donovan Wilson, still working back from a knee issue. That's 3 of your top 4 safeties, maybe your top 3, period, not on the field. So yes, Clark stepped in, but let's be real. He didn't leapfrog anyone. He filled a gap in a thin room. That doesn't mean he's safety number 4 today. It means he got a shot. And sometimes that's all a guy like this needs. But here's where it gets interesting. The Cowboys gave Elijah Clark the biggest guaranteed deal of any undrafted free agent they signed this year. A total of $259,000 between base salary and signing bonus. That's a message. That's not charity. That's investment. That's a front office saying, we believe this guy has a shot. For comparison, Justin Barron, another UDFA safety, was second on the list. We'll circle back to him later. Then there's Mike Smith, Raldo Farweather, and a few others. But none came close to Clark's guaranteed number. Even some of the offensive guys like tight end Tyler Neville, Josh Kelly, and Bruce Harmon were down the list with very little money committed. In a small rookie class like this one, money talks. And the Cowboys didn't whisper with Elijah Clark. They spoke loud and clear. So here's the big question. Can Elijah Clark actually make this roster? He's one of the more intriguing undrafted names in Dallas right now, no doubt, but let's not sugarcoat it. The odds are still stacked against him. The Cowboys don't hand out roster spots. They make guys earn them. Right now, if you're stacking up the safety depth chart, Clark probably sits at number 5. The top 4, Marquise Bell, Wanya Thomas, Donovan Wilson, and Malik Hooker, have all earned their ground. That's a crowded, physical, smart group. And 5 safeties? That's not always a luxury the Cowboys carry on the 53-man roster. So what's the most likely path for Clark? It's the practice squad. And that's not a bad thing. That's how hungry players grow in this league. Plus, when a front office throws guaranteed money at a UDFA, like they did with Clark, it usually means they have a plan for him. That investment wasn't random. Now, yes, some people saw Clark getting first-team reps and thought he was flying up the depth chart. But let's be honest, that happened on a day when 3 of the top 4 safeties were injured. That wasn't a promotion. That was necessity. Still, injuries are part of the NFL grind. If Clark can prove himself on special teams, he could sneak on to the final 53. And he's not the only one worth watching. Justin Barron, another Syracuse product, has converted from safety to linebacker. And he brings a boatload of special teams experience. Guys like Barron and Clark, they're the ones hovering around roster spot 52 or 53. Or maybe they land at 56 or 57 and wait for their shot. Because trust this, opportunity always comes knocking in the NFL, and don't forget the tight end position. Year after year, the Cowboys sneak an undrafted tight end onto the roster. It's almost tradition at this point. Now, while we're talking about roster building, let's shift to a new storyline. And it's one that's heating up. Bleacher Report just listed 2 potential trade targets for the Cowboys, both at the running back spot, Travis Etienne and Najee Harris. Big names, big price tags. But is Dallas actually looking? Right now, the front office seems focused on the backs already in-house. They've invested in Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue. And it looks like they want to see what they've got before making any splash moves. Still, the trade window is wide open. If one of these guys underperforms in camp or preseason, don't be surprised if the Cowboys make a bold move. Let's be real. The running back room in Dallas is still one giant question mark. Maybe it holds up. Maybe it unravels. Right now, the front office is playing the waiting game. They want to see what they have before making any drastic decisions. It's a patient approach. But patience only works when the results show up early. Out of the two names floating around in the trade rumor mill, one stands out more. Travis Etienne. There's something about his burst, that explosiveness out of the backfield, that Dallas seems to be lacking. In Jacksonville, they've already started to plan for life without him. They brought in Tank Bigsby, and they used a significant pick on Keelan Bo Tootin. The writing might already be on the wall. Etienne could be available. And even though he carries a heavier price tag, the Cowboys might be tempted if their current committee can't deliver. Now let's talk money. Etienne's playing on his fifth-year option, fully guaranteed at $6.14 million. That's not nothing. But as the season wears on and the deadline nears, that number becomes more manageable. He could become one of the hottest names on the market. And frankly, it's hard to see him finishing the year in Jacksonville. If Bigsby and Tootin step up, Etienne could be moved, and the Cowboys could be watching closely. Then there's Najee Harris. We know what he is. A grinder, a volume back, a guy you can hand the ball to 250 times in a season and expect tough yards in return. He won't break off many highlight runs, but he'll wear down a defense with effort and power. Right now, Najee averages around 4 yards per carry. That's his game. No frills, just physical football. He'll get you close to 1,000 yards if you give him the work, and that's still valuable in this league. What's interesting is that Dallas already passed on him once when he was available as a free agent. They didn't bite, but his contract situation has shifted. There are incentives built in now. Production-based bonuses that could make him more attractive if the Cowboys need reliability over flash. So, here's the big question. Will the Cowboys add another back before the season begins? Only time and the preseason performances of Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue will give us that answer. But if things don't look sharp by late August, don't be surprised if Dallas picks up the phone. Let's shift gears for a moment. There's a lot happening under the radar, and some of it could shape the Cowboys' depth heading into camp. Starting with the running back market again, there's still talk swirling around Austin Eckler and his potential fit with Dallas. But if a deal ever happened, the cost could be surprisingly low. If the Chargers moved him, they'd be eating $3.75 million of his contract. Dallas would owe just $1.5 million. That's a bargain for a proven playmaker. But would the Chargers actually do it? That depends on how confident they feel about Kimani Vidal and Isaiah Spiller holding down the fort. If an injury pops up in their own backfield, they may hold on to Eckler, no matter what the savings are. Now let's talk about a position that doesn't always make headlines, but it always matters: tight end. Every year, a group of the NFL's best tight ends gathers for a special offseason event called Tight End University, a brainchild of George Kittle, Travis Kelce, and Greg Olsen. It's part training, part mentorship, part bonding, and sometimes a little bit of partying. This year, 3 Dallas Cowboys made the list. Jake Ferguson, who continues to rise as TE1 Brevin Spanford, the raw but talented rookie and surprise attendee Tyler Neville, an undrafted free agent who quietly earned a spot. It's a rare opportunity for younger guys like Spanford and Neville to learn from elite-level talent, not just the X's and O's, but how to thrive in the league long-term. One noticeable absence: Luke Schoonmaker. He was there last year, but not this time around. No official explanation yet. Maybe it's personal. Maybe it's travel-related. Either way, it's worth noting. Still, for Spanford and Neville, being around the best in the game might just give them an edge as training camp kicks off. In a position room that still has a few question marks, any little boost could be the difference between making the roster or missing it. let's be clear. Tight End University isn't some magical fix-all. You don't walk in average and walk out elite. This isn't a shortcut to greatness. Guys like George Kittle aren't there to learn. They're there to lead. They're the mentors now, passing down knowledge to the next wave of NFL tight ends. But for someone like Jake Ferguson, this kind of experience can absolutely move the needle. For Brevin Spanford and Tyler Neville, it's even more valuable. They're soaking up insight, technique, and mindset from some of the best to ever do it. No, attending doesn't guarantee success, and missing it doesn't doom anyone either. It's just another piece of the development puzzle, another resource for young players hungry to improve. And in a quiet stretch of the NFL calendar, late June, early July, it's a small but meaningful sign that the Cowboys' young tight ends are putting in the work.